It's spicy in here. So Zora's a low-ranking horse in this herd, and so she got pushed off her feed dish. So you had another one for her.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to get her a spot in the middle or like standing where Zara is there, you did something very strategic.
Yeah, I put her out there because it's not near any of the other feed dishes. She's not like trapped in the barn, so she can, like a horse coming from one side or the other side, she can still like get out if needed.
Right. So that's something we don't often think about when we think about setting boundaries and standing in our power. We don't think about being strategic about it, do we? We just kind of think, okay, there's the situation, and then how am I going to hold people off me, and how am I gonna stick to what I want? We don't think about pulling back, going, these are all the circumstances we can't change. So then how can we make what we want happen by being strategic in our thinking? Is there a dynamic where you're maybe Zora? Like you have to operate in your power here, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise you're screwed. So where in your personal life are you not operating in your power?
Usually with parents, there's always a bit of a power struggle.
Yeah.
Especially because I'm at an age where I'm almost an adult, but I'm still looked at as a kid to them in some areas.
Yeah.
So it's about finding that balance of like.
So let's say the barn is your family. Where's the chaotic place in your family? Like if stuff's going down, where does that happen? Is it your kitchen, your living room?
Definitely like the kitchen and living room. I think that's what I have an advantage at one of my houses, is because my room is in the basement. I have the only room in the basement. I have my own bathroom. So the downstairs area is my space.
Right.
And then the living room is like the whole family area where everyone's there. And a lot of the time I spend in the basement because I like to like stay away from the chaos and stay in my own like place.
Right. So let's do a what if scenario. What if you're in your kitchen and your stepmom and your dad start hammering you for something, like they want something and you don't, or they want you to do something that you don't want to do, and now it's starting to get really heated like we saw before with everybody like Now taking this example of being strategic, if you can't go to your room, because going to your room, like you look at Zora here, she's not removed from the herd. She can see them, she can feel them, she can hear them, but you found her a place where she's kind of got her own energy bubble and she's out of their chaos.
Yeah.
So where would be an equivalent place in your home that you could go to, either physically or energetically, that would be that strategic place for you?
Maybe the backyard patio area, because it completely opens up. We have like multiple exits to the backyard. They're glass doors. They're open a lot of the time.
I would be absolutely intrigued to hear what happens if the next time your kitchen living room erupts into chaos, if you open the doors and go out on the patio.
Odie just completely avoided this area.
And moved Sione. Like the energy, it's like when you get outside in nature, the energy can just disperse. It's not trapped in this tiny area.
And I think it's also because a lot of the times parents use the phrase "not under my roof."
Oh, very good.
Yeah. So then it doesn't feel like you have any power in that house. The house doesn't belong to you. So that's why going outside where it's like neutral area, or for me, my basement is my area.
Yeah. But your basement is you leaving the conversation. So that's not really you standing in a powerful position. That's you kind of giving up your power and exiting. So yeah, it can work in a crunch, but it's not actually going to help you or move anything forward, right? Because the only way to improve that dynamic with your parents is for you to learn to hold your power in calmness and peace and grounding, because that's what maturity is, right? Zara, look at her just standing over there listening. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to join the conversation? Maybe? Or you just want to do a little dance? Girls, do it together.
I don't know any of the TikTok dances, thankfully. I should do it back. That's my dance for today.
That's your dance for today. Tomorrow you might get a better one.
Yeah, maybe a twirl.
Maybe a twerk. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Don't give up your day job.
Yeah, like parents want us to be comfortable in our own home, but then it's not our home, it's their home. They pay the bills, it's their house, and we don't have any power in it.
It's true. That's in our culture anyway, that's the party line, isn't it? Not under my roof.
And I think that's why a lot of teenagers shut themselves in their room, is because that's the only place in the house they feel that's theirs.
Yeah. And what's wrong with shutting yourself in your room?
It doesn't fix the problem, it's just pausing it, temporary.
True. Very true. But I love what you've done here with Zoe. Like, she's been able to, like, these guys have been moving around.
She hasn't moved once, exactly.
And this is really cool what you've discovered here, Natalie. I just love it. I just love it. You haven't separated her from her herd. She's not left the family, but you've strategically created a safer place where she can be in her own energy bubble. Move it around. New hairdo. What's it called?
A balayage.
A balayage. Very cool. So after you figured out that lesson in strategic thinking from Zora, well, you and Zora kind of created that space together. And then you had some realizations about how you could apply it to your life at home. And so when you needed to have difficult conversations with your dad, you were going to think about how could you apply what you did with Zora, taking her out of the barn, which was like taking yourself out of the kitchen and the living room, and strategically finding a different place to have those difficult conversations. So what's shifted, or have you had any more realizations since then?
What I've been doing is going on walks with my dad. So we're out of the house completely, and then it's just me and him. So there are no other like people like attacking me. It's only just me and him having a civil conversation. And then it's quiet and peaceful, and we walk up, hello fly, to the, just like there's shops that we live close to, and we just walk around there.
Oh, okay, so you don't necessarily need to go to a park or something. You just get out of the house and go for a walk.
Yeah. Like recently I deposited some money that I got from my family for graduation, and I asked my dad if he wanted to walk with me up to the bank, and then we had like a civil conversation as we walked to the bank, and it was just us.
So when you invite him to, this is really fascinating by the way, when you invite him to walk with you, are you already in conflict, or is this part of like building the relationship in a different way?
More building the relationship in a different way. Recently it's been quite good because with Corona, restrictions have been like lightened, so there's not as much stress with everybody. So now it's just building it up and up without any other voices kind of impacting his like logic in our conversation together.
Right. And then have you had an actual conflict erupt since then?
Actually, like, no. I find because we've been going on walks, we've been fixing the problem early on before it leads to a big explosion.
Wow.
And talking about anything else that bothers us, like, before it gets too extreme.
That is amazing.
So it's been quite good, actually.
That's groundbreaking and such a simple solution.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what happens, like, why don't we think of these things before? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's such simple workarounds, but they just don't occur to us.
It's when we're angry. All our logic goes out the window when we're angry. And we only focus on how mad we are and not thinking about how we can fix the problem or strategically like work around it.
That's very true. I remember I learned the go outside technique from my eldest son. And I noticed that I could function well inside, but he could not. It's like he couldn't hear me and his rage would just build and build. But as soon as I would just open the patio door and we'd go out in the yard and I'd grab a ball and I'd start throwing it to him because he's very kinesthetic. He's very in his body, right? So giving him a ball to throw back and forth and having him on the earth, it just enabled him to drain all that anger out. And then we could, like you said, once the anger's gone, now you can have a logical conversation and you can problem solve and you can brainstorm ideas that meet everybody's needs and things like that.
Mm-hmm. It's the same for me. Like I need to be moving. Like when I'm on the phone, I'm constantly walking. So then going on a walk and discussing issues is a logical, like easier way to do things.
Does it make any difference that when you're walking with someone, you're not face to face with them? Like you're usually side by side, so you're not looking at them.
Yeah, I think it works well. And it's also because generally parents are taller than their kids, so they're almost overshadowing and looking down on you. But if you're side to side, you're looking forward and you're not focusing on that.
That's a really good. And what I'm getting an image now is of, okay, well, how about if when you're sitting in a car? Because then you're side by side.
Yeah.
But the car, your parent is usually driving. And so you're now trapped in the space with them. So
where they have all the control.
Yeah, so it's not liberating. You're back to being trapped in their space, under their rules, under their control. And then I guess too, if you're walking, you can just walk off.
Exactly. There's no restrictions and everything you say just echoes out into the world and it's not trapped by a car or by a house or anything.
That is so powerful. That is so powerful. Awesome. So do you have any advice for other people who are in really toxic relationship patterns and power struggles based on what you've learned and these new experiences you've had?
I think it's easier to talk to one parent at a time instead of both, because then it's 2 against 1, compared to if you just isolate the problem with one parent and then maybe go back to the other parent after. They're not affecting each other's like decisions and whatever they say. Then it's just you and them and it's completely like even with power and stuff.
Great point.
If that makes any sense.
Total, it all makes amazing sense. Thank you, Natalie. Lessons from the horse, filtered down through the human, refined, put into action. A little bit more magic added in there.
Yeah.
We're good to go.